lots of reasons why people voted Brexit, but many of them are covered by one word: sovereignty. Brexiteers don't like to share it, from how many fish you can catch to who gets to live here and which court ultimately has the final say over British citizens. Many Brits get pretty cranky at the idea of having to follow rules and regulations set in Brussels, often by people they haven't voted for.
Well, no one knows exactly. Parliament's wrestled power back, and the Speaker is now breaking with parliamentary convention, so it's even harder to tell the direction than ever. Hardline Brexiteers still want a clean break from the EU, while more pro-EU MPs want to try and mitigate the economic impact of leaving. All the while, Theresa May is still struggling to discipline her party and command authority, and it seems the only thing MPs are willing to unite on is avoiding a no-deal Brexit.
The Prime Minister wants one thing: the deal she negotiated with the European Union to pass Parliament. Then Brexit can begin on March 29, 2019 at 11 p.m. If her deal passes, there will be a nearly 2-year transition period, where the United Kingdom will essentially be held to the same rules as before, as they try to negotiate new trade relationships before December 2020. After that, the United Kingdom will be essentially on its own, no longer subject to European rules on things like trade or immigration, or to the European Courts of Justice.
It's no secret that the EU regrets Brexit and sees it as a historic mistake. If a country as large and as powerful as the United Kingdom wants to leave a club in which it helps shape the single market and benefits from security cooperation, among many other things, what does that say about the club itself? Nothing good. And so from the start, the EU's approach has been damage control.
The British pound has slumped since the UK voted to leave the EU, and it could fall even further in the event of a hard or no-deal Brexit. Now, that may be some good news for tourists hoping for a cheap trip to the UK, and for some British businesses which are export-heavy. But it's bad news for many. The cost of living for Brits is rising as imports become more expensive, and it's a similar story for some British businesses which have to import more materials. Plus, all the uncertainty over what the future trading relationship will be between the UK and the EU, well, that's forced some businesses to already hit their contingency plans. Big banks, for example, have already moved some operations from the UK to the EU.
If Theresa May's deal gets approved, then Brexit will be partly sorted on March 29th, then a little bit more sorted sometime before the end of 2020. Simple. If she fails, as most people expect she will, a few things could happen. She could try renegotiating with the EU, her government could collapse, there could be a general election, a second referendum, a request to extend Article 50, the scrapping of Brexit altogether, or even a no deal.